and welcome to episode 15 of Dragon Age Origins. Last time we left off, we saved the tower, and as you can see here in the background, First Enchanter Irving is here to help us out with Connor, because we believe he's possessed, and we need someone to be able to go into the Fade to help him out and, I think, get rid of the demon that is with him. So let's go see who we have to talk to. I feel like we have to maybe talk to Bann Teagan since his name is in yellow. So let's see.
The mages are waiting to start the ritual.
Ah, never mind. Doesn't look like it's him. Perhaps it's the first enchanter.
There you are.
Ah, here we go.
We have brought lyrium and begun preparations for the ritual. We can start any time.
So only one person can go through?
Yes, we haven't sufficient lyrium at present to send more than one mage into the Fade.
Are you sure this is the only way?
It only works because the child gave himself to the demon willingly. If the demon takes over the host forcibly, we must slay the abomination. We have only enough lyrium for one attempt. I hope you succeed. Such a young lad deserves better than execution.
Do you have any last minute advice?
It truly depends on the manner of demon. It sounds like a spirit of greed and desire, one of the more powerful in the hierarchy. It will likely engage you in dialogue and tempt you with an offer. Avoid it. Making deals with demons never turns out well.
Let's do this now then.
I'm glad we decided to take this route. This is really the best option.
Very well. Who will go into the Fade?
Ah, so we can do multiple. So we can do Morrigan, Joan over here, Win, or Irvin can go in. I feel like I'm not sure if I trust Joan enough to do this. And I feel like Morgan has more how do you call it, power to hurt people, besides because Win is mostly a healer, I believe, and I feel like Morgan has more spells that can hurt than, or that can do more damage than heal, so I feel like Morgan is good to go. So Morgan is going.
Then I assume you must get her from your camp. We will proceed when you return.
Ah, so I have to go back to camp before. I can do that. Here we go. Have to go out here then. And then I can't change my party here, it looks like. But that's okay. Let's just go here. Yes, and I go to the camp.
The Blight. How will you end it?
We have to fight the Archdemon.
Is that all? It is surrounded by an ocean of darkspawn. How will you reach it? If you reach it, how will you slay it? You say you are a Grey Warden. I have heard stories of this order.
What have you heard?
Great strategists and peerless warriors. That is what we hear of the Wardens. So far, I am not impressed.
I'm new to the Wardens.
Will you make that excuse to the Archdemon, or the victims it claims in the meantime?
Oof, he disapproves. Okay, so should we talk with a few people before, or should we just head back? I feel like I'll just head back for now. I'll just save just in case. And then I can change my party. I'll take Alistair. Can do Liliana. And then Morgan. Here we go. We go back to the castle. There we go. We go back up here. And then we have a child to save. I wonder what kind of demon is possessing him though. Or what kind of demon we are dealing with. Here we go.
We are ready to proceed when you are.
Let's do this now.
Very well. Who will go into the Fade?
Morrigan.
Then let us begin forthwith.
Here we go. I wonder what it's gonna be like. So we're back in the Fade. We were just here and now we're back again.
I'm coming!
Oh.
Father, where are you?
Are these like
Is
ghosts
anyone out there?
of the All and his son? Almost
I don't
looks like it.
understand. It's so cold.
Oh
I
wait,
want to go home.
the All is here.
You there? Have you seen my son? I can hear him, but I cannot find him. This blasted fog has me turning in circles.
Let's try to get through to the All.
This is the Fade. Your kind cannot navigate it any more than you could navigate a dream.
I don't understand. Where is my Connor?
I will find him for you, since I foolishly gave my word that I would.
Mm.
Lead me to it.
No. No, you're trying to lead me astray. I do not believe you. Connor! Connor, where are you?
Of course, Morrigan with her, how do you say it, convincing skills. So we have to go through here, it looks like. Oh, Connor is up there. Let's see what he has to say.
Are you the one that made Father ill? Tell me now.
Let's be nice, it's a kid.
Shoo! Run along and play. Or whatever.
Morrigan.
You're here to hurt Father. I know it. I won't let you.
Ooh. You can watch now. So it looks like it's a desire demon, right? Okay, let's target it and we can do this. Cone of cold.
I shall do it.
There we go. And then we can also do winter's grasps.
Let us end this.
There we go.
Run
Perhaps we can also do drain life. There we go. Do you have to go back through there? It looks like it. Here we go. And now we're back here.
You.
Oh no, we're somewhere
You're
else.
the one making Father sick.
No, I'm
I'll
not.
help him. You can't stop me.
We're trying to help you, Connor. Oh. He's here again.
Why do you keep hurting me? Why are you trying to stop me?
Let's try to communicate.
Enough of these games. Give me what I want.
Trespasser! I will drive you out.
Okay, let's target this. And we can do Cone of Cold.
As you wish.
Okay, and then we can target him and we can do Winter's Grasps. There we go. Now we can target her again. We can do Drain Life. Or perhaps Lightning. There we go. Ooh. We did that.
Get out of here! You have to get out!
Do we have to go
I'll stop
back
you.
again?
I will! Please forgive me.
Yeah, it looks like it. Let's go here. There we go. Ah, and he's here again. Let's see.
Father wanders, seeking me, trapped within my web. All is as it should be.
He starts to
Why must
sound
you
more like the
interfere?
demon. Can we perhaps reason with it?
Why do you
I highly
speak
doubt
through
it.
illusions? Come, let us converse.
No. It is time for you to go now. Do not persist, or things will go very badly for you.
Here we go. We can do Cone of Cold again. Ah, and this time there's 2 of them.
As you wish.
There we go. And then we can target this dude and we can do Winter's Grasp. There we go. And then perhaps we can do lightning here. There we go. I can take this.
So be it.
There we go. And then let's do Drain Life. Perhaps I can take some lyrium. Nah, it's not gonna do a whole lot. Because I quite have a lot of lyrium or mana left. I can do Winter's Grasp though. There we go. And then we can target him. And we can do perhaps the Hex. Let's see.
Stop your drooling and save some dignity, fool.
There we go. Ooh, I'm quite low. Let's heal up a bit before we move on. There we go. And I'm guessing we have to just go back through here again. Let's see. Ah! Now it's just the demon. It's not even Connor. Oh, why is she through the ground?
Very well. No more illusions. Now we meet face to face. You see my true form and stand in my domain. It is here I am most powerful. And yet I have no wish to engage your power, nor should you be so eager to engage mine. Perhaps we should converse instead?
Is there even a point? I mean, we can try, even though Irvin said it's better not to. But I highly doubt Morrigan will be convinced by a demon.
I will not become an abomination
Yeah.
no matter what you try.
One soul I already possess. I do not need another. You need not fear me on that account. I wish only to talk.
Do you take me for a fool? I know better than to bargain with your kind.
Alas, that is sad. Very well then. If you wish a battle, you will have it. Let us see if your power matches your boldness, creature.
Here we go. Do you perhaps have any other? Perhaps I can equip this just in case. There we go. And then I can do this.
So be it.
There we go. I can Winter's Grasp as well. Ooh, I'm on fire. That's not good. There we go. Let's do lightning. Here we go. Can do Winter's Grasp again. There we go. Ooh, so there's multiple now. This is the only one that doesn't look like this. Perhaps this is the one then that we need. Let's try to get a bit closer. Here we go. And we can do Cone of Cold. There we go. We can do lightning. And Winter's Grasp. Ooh. There we go. Perhaps I can do Drain Life. Ooh, let's get out of here. Let's take this. Okay, here we go. Can do Winter's Grasp. Oh wait, no, she's in like a protective bubble. Can I do lightning? Okay, perhaps this. Nope. Why is she not attacking? Do Winter's Grasp? There we go. We did it. We saved everyone from the village, that looks like. And people are praying. Ah, and Isolde and Connor and Bann Teagan and we are also here. What is happening exactly? Oh, it's like a funeral. Oh, that's interesting. So they do it like the Vikings almost.
So it is over. Connor is his old self. He does not seem to remember anything, which is a blessing. I suppose we will need to send him to the Circle of Magi's tower for training once the war is over. It's so odd to think of the boy as a mage, of all things. Eamon has much to mourn and rebuild should he recover. But at least he can be thankful that both his son and wife are safe.
I owe you my deepest thanks. I can scarcely believe Connor is the boy he once was.
There is still the matter of Jowan. His poisoning Eamon began this whole mess, yet he lives. I must decide what becomes of him. We will hold him for Eamon to decide his fate. If he doesn't recover, Jowan's fate is sealed. What do you think?
It's a good question. Why do you want my opinion?
You spoke with him, have you not? You know what he has done better than I do, even.
Would you find him useful?
I would not trust him, but I would not presume to tell my brother what to do.
I'm not sure because it looks like Joan was desperate, but then again, he is a blood mage, and I'm not sure if we could trust them considering what we have seen in the tower. So I'll just say do whatever you want with him.
Very well. I shall have the mage imprisoned again for now. But our task is not done yet. Whatever the demon did to my brother, it seems to have spared his life, but he remains comatose. We cannot wake him.
The urn. The urn of sacred ashes will save Eamon.
The urn is a legend. It might never be found.
That is a possibility. But there is a reason it's still an option. I am not simply grasping at straws.
My husband funded the research of a scholar in Denerim, a brother Genetivi. He has been studying the inscriptions on Andraste's birth rock. When Eamon fell ill, I sent the knights to speak to Genetivi. I hoped that he had finally discovered the location of the urn of sacred ashes itself. They were unable to locate Genetivi. In desperation, I sent more knights in search of the brother, or some clue of the urn's location.
I will see if I can find this relic.
No one else can. Even if I wished to do it myself, I cannot abandon Redcliffe to its own devices. Perhaps you could seek out the brother's home in Denerim and see if any clues remain on his whereabouts. It is the only place to begin the search, I think. I must go to the hall and begin rebuilding. I wish you luck, and may the Maker go with you.
Here we go. So Alistair and Liliana both leveled up. Does Isolde have anything to say?
I pray that Eamon awakens soon.
Yeah, I hope so. So this is all Eamon, Bann Teagan's brother, I presume, right? Yeah. And I wonder if we can find the First Blood chapter 2 we got. But I wonder if we can heal him. Or like if we can find the sacred ashes, because it's purely a myth by now, right? Or like a legend. But perhaps the Brother Genevieve, they said,
It will take years to
would
sort
find
out
it.
the castle properly. Then we even get the chance.
Looks like we can go into a few rooms. I'm guessing this is Connor's room.
You're the one who saved me.
Actually, it was Morrigan.
Then, I guess I owe her thanks. Father always said to remember to thank people who do nice things for you. I hope Father gets better soon. He will, won't he?
He will, I promise you, Connor. So we got a new codex, Evelyn, Knight of the something. I wasn't capable of reading it fast enough. Here we go. Looks like we can look around the castle now. There's a guard here.
I suppose we'll have to ready ourselves for the approaching darkspawn, won't we?
Most likely, yeah. And there's a servant here.
Poor little boy. I just can't bear to think what he must have gone through.
Can we go through here?
Allow me. I could do that for you.
Go ahead. Nope, you don't have sufficient skill. Perhaps we can level you up for that. Let's put some in dexterity and you can have one in cunning. There we go. And then perhaps we could do this. Expert stealing, why not? And then Song of Courage or... here we go. This is for lockpicking. So, through practice and research, the rogue has come to possess an encyclopedic knowledge of devices designed to prevent entry. Knowing the right technique for the job lends the rogue yet another bonus when dealing with locks or traps. The character's cunning score also contributes to these skills. Here we go. Let's get that. Can you do it now? Nope. Still not enough. And let's level you up as well. Let's put most of it in strength for now. And then perhaps we can put it here in overpower. So the character lashes out with the shield 3 times. The first 2 hits inflict normal damage. The last strike is a critical hit if it connects, knocking the target down unless it passes a physical resistance check. Shield mastery increases the damage. Let's get that. There we go. And let's explore the castle a bit more then. So it looks like that is the way out. What about here?
Very well.
It's just a room with a vanity, with a lesser health poultice, nice. And books with the Gurrents of Ferelden, which is a gift, and a blank vellum, nice. Let's go through here then. Let's see what's on the other side here.
It is begun.
There's a servant.
May God bless you, Grey Warden. You saved us all. You have.
You're welcome. Is there anything in here? There's a chest. Let's get it with Liliana, perhaps. Got an injury kit and a stone dragon statue, which is also a gift. There we go. And there's a room here as well with a book. Journal of the Tranquil. And another chest. Let's get it. With split mail gloves. Nice. There we go. And let's go out then. Out here. To the last door. Here we go. Ah, we're here. Let's check out this area as well then. There's a book of the Elysian Empire and then a desk with Alistair's mother's amulet and a blank vellum. Can we perhaps gift it to him now? Ah, here it is. There you go.
This is my mother's amulet. It has to be. But why isn't it broken? Where did you find it?
I found it in Redcliffe Castle, in the study, where we are at now.
Oh, the Arl study? Then he must have found the amulet after I threw it at the wall, and he repaired it and kept it. I don't understand. Why would he do that?
Perhaps you mean more to him than you think.
I guess you could be right. We never really talked that much. And then the way I left... Thank you. I mean it. I thought I'd lost this to my own stupidity. I'll need to talk to him about this if he recovers from his... When he recovers, that is. I wish I'd had this a long time ago. Did you remember me mentioning it? Wow. Huh. I'm more used to people not really listening when I go on about things.
We can do romance with him. Of course I remembered. You are special to me.
I don't know what to say. You're special to me too. Thank you again.
Ooh, damn, he approved a lot about that. Let's see what's on the other room then. Here we go. And here, there's a vanity with fire arrows, which makes me wonder, does she still have the fire arrows? No, just normal arrows. So let's go here and see fire arrows. There we go. And then there's a cabinet.
Very well. Allow me. I could do that for you.
Ah, thank you. We got a health poultice and a small silver ring, which is a gift. Nice. There's a servant.
I wonder what happened to all the other castle servants that were here. Do you think they all died? Or did they run away?
I hope they run away.
It shall be done. Allow me. I could do that for
And
you.
more splint meal. Nice. Oh, there's also a book up here. Let's see. Geography of Ferelden. Nice. Let's go out here then. Let's see. Ah, Sir Perv is also here.
It is good you resolve this demon business. Now we must either revive the Arl or allow Bann Teagan to take his place.
See, is anything out here perhaps? There's a servant.
Oh, there's so much to be cleaned up. I don't want to even think about what happened here.
Something here. So where you can go out there.
Poor little boy. I just can't bear to think what he must have gone through.
Yeah, it must have been horrible. Let's see, but the other side here. There's a guard.
We owe you a great deal. The whole kingdom does, whether they know it or not.
Is anything in these small rooms? No, doesn't look like it. Also not here. Is this perhaps where we came from when we were fighting the undead here? I believe so, yeah. Okay, let's head out then. Because I feel like we explored everything in here already. I think I will go to Redcliffe Village for now. Because I still have to talk with the blacksmith. And then to let him know about his daughter. Well, his daughter's probably there already, but it's just good to check up on it just in case. And let's see how the village is doing in general as well. Here we go. Ooh, cutscene. A Denerim.
Sire, I have more news. Yes. Well, it seems that the fighting has gone
Enough.
exactly as you...
I would like to know what you intend to accomplish, Father. Should we not be fighting the Darkspawn instead of each other?
The nobility should be brought into line and then the Darkspawn defeated. This is no true blight, Honora. Only Kaelin's vanity demanded it be so.
Beg pardon, sire. But blight or no, we may not have the manpower to face the Darkspawn soon.
I wonder who that
Approached your
dude
legions for
is.
support, did he
Never!
not?
Marek and I drove those bastards out! We'll not roll out the welcome for them now.
We need help, Father. We cannot deal with this crisis alone.
Ferelden will stand on its own. I will lead it through this, Honora. You must have faith in me.
Did you kill Kaelin?
Kaelin's death was his own doing.
I don't think she believes that. I feel like she knows what her father did. Okay, so we're here, and I think we have to go around here to go out. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Oh, there's someone else there now. Knight Commander Harif, did we have a talk with him? I'm not sure.
Move along, friend.
Oh, okay, very well.
Thank you.
Okay. That was very short. And let's get our dog as well. Here we go. So he can go ahead and get this tree. There we go. Can go here. And then we have to go down here as well. There we go. Oh, looks like there's a chantry board up now as well. Perhaps we can read that in a bit. Let's go here. We can talk with the blacksmith.
My Valena returned. She told me of your daring rescue. I can't begin to tell you how grateful I am. Take this. A reward for your deed. It's dwarven made and should serve you well.
Thank you. I was glad to help.
Thank you again. I'm forever in your debt.
There we go. Can we perhaps get this now? Because we couldn't last time. Yes, here we go. Can we talk with Helena?
Thank you, my lady. I'd never have been able to return to my father if it wasn't for you.
You're welcome. Let's go out then and see. Ah, there's also a... Ah, the Blackstone Irregulars are here. Let's see if we can talk with them.
Maker's blessings upon you, Warden.
Let's look at this. So we have grease the wheels. My friend, I have a task that requires some tact and discretion, and I think you're perfect for the job. The Blackstone Irregulars cannot survive without the patronage of the nobles, mages, and other groups who retain our services. For that work to continue, however, we have ensured that people are looking for our interest. To that end, I ask you to make a trip to Dunham and pass your appreciation to certain individuals. Return when you are done, and I will see that you are rewarded. Your friend, Tauren? There we go. You can do that. And then there's a chantry board here as well. So we have Caravan Down, Sister Giselle's posts. Unfortunate news has arrived that the Darkspawn have extended their incursion into areas previously thought safe for travel. A runner from a border caravan brings word that they unknowingly passed into infested territory and were being tracked by several unseen creatures. He was dispatched to seek help and does not know the fate of his fellows or the viability of the trade route. Travelers in the area are urged to be cautious. Any with the ability to rescue or determine the status of the troubled group will be rewarded. We can do that. And then Brothers and Sons. Sister Rana's post on behalf of her neighbors. The Darkspawn incursion in the south have made for difficult communication, even through official means. The relatives of the conscripts in Company East Hill have besieged me to deliver word of their brothers and sons. I have no means to do so, but can point a traveler or stout heart in the proper direction of their recent engagement. To any who are able to find their lost ones, I offer what little silver they have been able to entrust to the board, as well as the sincerest gratitude of the chantry. We can do that as well. Then we have Skin Deep. A runner sent this request from Knight Commander Fames. While the repost I have heard no doubt suffer from exaggeration, the observed creatures assaulting Redcliffe trouble me greatly. If we are to properly combat these unnatural agents and prevent their occurrence, the mages bound to my service will require carefully prepared samples of flesh for study. Thereafter, should a deployment occur, we will be well briefed. If there are skilled warriors present, I would have them gather samples from any remaining creatures as close as the presumed source as possible. The Chantry will reward this basic assistance with spiritual acknowledgement. If the request is exceeded, gold will be added, but the offer is limited. We can do that as well. There we go. And then we have Desperate Haven. Sister Rana has heard reports of an imminent tragedy. Rana has brought me dire news of a group of refugees fleeing the Darkspawn. They have been cornered in unfamiliar ground, fighting for their lives. The Templars are necessarily occupied, and my own means are few and stretched. If someone of skill has the ability to deliver these people, I can only offer the honest gratitude of myself and the Chantry. Hopefully that will be enough for the rare person we need. We can do that. And then unintended consequences. A urgent plea from Brother Bard. Something is stalking the wilds, killing the good merchants who support our towns in these difficult times. One would assume that this is the reason the Chantry employs the use of the Templars, but they are unmindful of simple brother's plea. I understand they have the Darkspawn and the constant threat of the uncontrolled magic to contend with, but are they not meant to protect the common people? Whatever the source of this thing, what other unconscionable force has unleashed it, someone must make the roads safe again. All we know is that it's not an animal, bandit, or darkspawn. If anyone will stand, I will provide of my own wealth as compensation. We can do that as well. There we go. So let's take a look. So we have the Chantry's board. For the caravan, we have to just travel to the trade route marked on your map and determine the fate of the border caravan. Brothers and sons, go to the region marked on your map. Skin deep, return 9 samples of corpse gall to the Chantry's board for the Templars to study. Return at 18 at once to receive an additional payment. I think we can do that. I believe we have a lot of corpse gall. Desperate Haven, go to the region marked on your map. Okay. And a strange creature is killing the merchants. Be on the lookout while traveling, and it may find you. And then we have the Urn of Sacred Ashes. Find the Urn of Sacred Ashes. Medicine and magic have failed to cure all Eamon, who slips closer to death each day. You have been told that the Urn of Sacred Ashes, containing the ashes of the Maker's Prophet Andraste, has legendary healing powers. Lady Isolde sent her knights out in search of the urn, but so far they have returned empty-handed. If all Eamon is to have any hope of recovering, Andraste's ashes must be found. Locate the Chantry scholar, Brother Genetivi, in Denerim. He is the only man in Ferelden who is actively researching the urn and will have important knowledge to share with you. So we have to go to Denerim for that. And then we have this, this is the new one that we get. So we have to deliver the notice of appreciation to 5 hooded couriers in Denerim. And then we have to return to the Blackstone Irregulars for our reward. And then the Blight is we did this, and we still have to do these two. I think we can go talk with her, right?
100 arrows, those suffering from ailments both great and small. His heart was strong, and he moved on.
There we go. We got 3 gold from that. Nice. I think I will head back to camp for now. And then perhaps we can talk with everyone, see how everyone is doing. Read some codexes as well. And then we can move on to Denerim. and perhaps see what's going on there, talk with Brother Genetivi, and hopefully find the Urn of Sacred Ashes. Here we go. Go up here then. There we go. And then we go to camp.
Now
hello.
that we're back at the camp, I want to talk about what happened at Redcliffe.
What's on your mind?
I just wanted to thank you. You went out of your way to save the Arl's family, and you did it. Even though it would have been easier not to. There's been so much death and destruction. It makes me feel good that at least we were able to save something. No matter how small. I owed the Arl that much.
If we can stop the blight, we will save much more.
You're right. Hopefully, by that time, there's still enough of Ferelden left to save. Good. Now that the warm, fuzzy part of the day is over with, we can get back to the ritual dismemberments. Oh, well, it's not Tuesday, is it?
Perhaps we can talk more with him?
You know, maybe this isn't the best time to be thinking about this, but I've something to ask you. Chances are we'll be heading to Denerim soon. And when we're there, I wonder if we might be able to look someone up.
Logan will get what's coming to him, I promise you.
No, I know that. That's not what I'm talking about. The thing is, I have a sister, a half-sister. I told you about my mother, right? She was a servant at Redcliffe Castle and she had a daughter. Only I never knew about her. I don't think she knew about me either. They kept my birth a secret after all. But after I became a Grey Warden, I did some checking and, well, I found out she's still alive. In Denerim.
Ah, is that the person that was in his dream, so to say, when we were in the Fade? That's wonderful news.
She's the only real family I have left. The only family not also mixed up in the whole royal thing. I've just been thinking that maybe it's time I went to see her. With the blight coming and everything, I don't know if I'll ever get another chance to see her. Maybe I can help her. Warn her about the danger, I don't know.
If you want to, we could try.
Could we? I'd appreciate that. If something happened to her and I never went to at least see her, I don't know if I could forgive myself. Her name is Goldana, and I think she remarried but still lives just outside the alienage. If we're in the area, then, well, it's worth a look.
Sure. Does he have anything else to say? Oh, we got a new quest from that as well. So, companions, Alistair's family. Gain, here you go. Find Goldana. Alistair told you about his half-sister Goldana with whom he shares a mother. He always wanted to find her, to talk to her, but he's never done it. Now Alistair wishes to warn her about the blight. While he still has the chance, Goldana lives in Denerim, near the alienage. Let's talk with him more.
Service.
I have some questions.
Of course.
Why we can ask this? Why did you keep your birthright a secret?
You never asked?
That's a cheap answer.
All right. If you want the full explanation, I'll give it to you. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then after the battle, when I should have told you, I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that?
I guess I can understand that.
I should have told you, anyway. It was important for you to know. I guess part of me likes you not knowing.
You enjoy it? Not telling me?
It's just that anyone who's ever found out has treated me differently afterwards. I was the bastard prince instead of just being Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me.
It doesn't sound stupid at all.
For all the good it does me, my blood seems certain to haunt me no matter what I do. I guess I should be thankful that Eamon is far more likely to inherit the throne. If he's all right. Oh, I hope he's all right. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. I guess I was just hoping that you would like me for who I am. It was a dumb thing to do.
Don't worry about it, Alistair. No harm done.
I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go.
I believe there was like another
At your
question we
service.
could ask.
Of course.
If you were raised in the Chantry, have you never...
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
You know what I mean.
I'm not sure I do. Have I never seen a basilisk? Ate jellied ham? Have I never licked a lamppost in winter?
Now you're making fun of me.
Make fun of you, dear lady. Perish the thought. Well, tell me, have you ever licked a lamppost in winter?
Oh no. That's not what I meant, and you know it.
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. I admit I've never had a woman just come out and ask me like this, that's for sure. I myself never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know.
So you never had the opportunity?
Well, living in the Chantry is
This is so awkward.
exactly a life for rambunctious boys. They taught me to be a gentleman, especially in the presence of beautiful women such as yourself. That's not so bad, is it?
Do you think I'm beautiful?
Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing, resourceful, and all those other things you probably hurt me for not saying.
I would never hurt you.
Nor I, you. Let us be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush.
There we go. Oh, we got a new skill. Inspired moderate constitution. Oh. Inspired by your leadership, this party member has gained a moderate bonus to constitution. Nice. Can we perhaps talk more?
Here, look at this.
Oh.
Do you know what this is?
That's a rose.
I picked it in Lothering. I remember thinking, how could something so beautiful exist in a place with so much despair and ugliness? I probably should have left it alone, but I couldn't. The Darkspawn would come and their taint would just destroy it. So I've had it ever since.
That's a nice sentiment.
I thought that I might give it to you, actually. In a lot of ways, I think the same thing when I look at you.
Thank you, Alistair. That's a lovely thought.
I'm glad you like it. I was just thinking, here I am doing all this complaining, and you haven't exactly been having a good time of it yourself. You've had none of the good experience of being a Grey Warden since your joining. Not a word of thanks or congratulations. It's all been death and fighting and tragedy. I thought maybe I could say something. Tell you what a rare and wonderful thing you are to find amidst all this darkness.
So are we married now? I feel the same way about you.
I'm glad you like it. Now, if we could move right on past this awkward, embarrassing stage and get right to the steamy bits, I'd appreciate it.
Um. Let's just make a joke out of it. Sounds good. Up with the armor then.
Bluff called. Damn, she saw right through me.
You're so cute when you're bashful.
I'll be standing over here until the blushing stops, just to be safe. You know how it is.
Sure. Let's see if we can talk with anyone else.
Yes.
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
Never mind.
Then I suggest we move on.
What were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
That's not what I meant.
It's what you asked.
Fair enough. You don't like me much, do you?
Warden, if I truly disliked you, I would leave. That I am still here, you may interpret however you choose.
Are you going to answer my question?
I did. Parshera, was there anything else?
No, that's it, I think.
As you wish.
There we go. Let's talk with Leliana.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
You were a traveling minstrel. Do you have tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry lore says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Do you know any stories from Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
Oh, we got a codex from that. That sounds interesting.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Continue, please.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win the tourney?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Jesus. That's terrible.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
I met a Flemeth in the Kakari Wilds.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
She didn't really introduce herself as such.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Ooh, the plot thickens. What happened then?
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. turning her into an abomination. The halls of the castle run red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many chastened men, and with their help begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
Ooh. There was another story I wanted to hear.
Which one?
Do you know anything about the Dalish?
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in the land of their own.
It didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. There were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did Andraste die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burnt at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
Why did the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
I think that's enough for now. Perhaps you can talk with Win over here.
Oh, it's been a long day. Rest would be welcome.
Are you alright?
Yes, of course. I am just a little weary. As you may have noticed, I'm no spring chicken.
You are very springly for your age, though.
Thank you. You're very kind to say so. But in all honesty, I do not know how many years I have left in me. I have lived for such a long time, but there is always something else to do. And I have to keep going in order to do it. I think I will be glad when I am done.
Hey, don't say those things. We still need you.
Oh, no. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through, I promise.
Can we talk more with it?
Have you encountered many abominations, apart from the ones in the Circle Tower?
Why do you ask?
You are younger than I, and your nerves yet have some steel in them. Did you feel any fear facing the abominations?
Some, but I knew I could not falter.
The first time I saw an abomination, my blood turned to ice. It was months before the nightmares stopped. It was the knowledge that I could easily become one of them that frightened me the most.
You are a great mage. You would never become an abomination.
Every mage is vulnerable, no matter how accomplished or powerful. That is the first thing we learn, and overconfidence can lead to recklessness. One slip. All it takes is one slip, and everything you are is simply gone, replaced by madness. And there is no turning back, or at least that's what they say.
You have doubts?
Of late, I have begun to wonder if there is any way an abomination can be cured, or if a mage could be so possessed and still retain their sanity, their humanity.
If one retains one's humanity, one is not an abomination.
Yes, it is madness and cruelty that define abominations. If those are lacking, if the mage remembers the person they truly are, then they are not an abomination. I never saw that. Thank you for showing me another way of looking at it.
You're welcome. Can we talk more?
So, tell me, how did you become a Grey Warden?
I was cast out to die in the deep roads, where I met Duncan.
You survived the deep roads and the darkspawn that dwell there? Truly, you were born to be a Grey Warden.
Born to the esteemed child of King Endrin, and now, nothing.
No, not nothing. You are a Grey Warden, one of the last of the Ferelden Wardens. We depend on you now. Take heart, dear friend. You survived, even when you were not expected to. We do not know yet what lies in store for you, or the name you carry. It is not so bad, is it, being a Grey Warden?
Orzammar has forgotten me, but I will protect her.
Sometimes it gives me comfort to think that everything will end up the way it's supposed to. That it will be all right. You were chosen. You survived the joining when others did not. Perhaps it was meant to be.
It's nice. Let's see if Morrigan has anything to say. Oh wait, there's someone else here. Emissary Peter? Peffer?
The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden, as do the Templars of the Chantry.
They will work together?
The sincerity of your cause has drawn them together under a common banner. It would not have happened otherwise.
Oh, that's it?
The Circle of Magi stands ready to assist, Grey Warden, as do the Templars of the Chantry.
Do you need anything?
There are always areas to improve on, Grey Warden. The most useful for my talents are runes.
Do we put them here? A communal box for the resources you have collected for your troops. I don't think I will do this just yet, because I think I can still use my runes for something. So let's go to Morrigan then and see what she has to say.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
I think I did that already.
What do you wish of me?
What about this?
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
No, never mind. Don't have anything to ask her. Let's see how Malachite is doing then. Let's go here.
Your dog is filthy. I can smell him 50 yards off.
No. I'm sure you're exaggerating.
That may be so, but all the same, I would like your permission to bathe him.
Sure, go ahead. Oh no.
Excellent. I will get my soaps, and the dog shall have his bath after supper.
Oh, is he scared of water? I'm sorry. Let's pet him. There we go. I also wanted to go to Bodan because I believe I wanted to, because I completely forgot to mention, I got new armor on me, like the Blood Dragon helmet and the main armor and the gloves, but I don't have the boots just yet because at the time I didn't have enough money for it. So I want to get those now.
Are you sure I can't interest you in this hat? A pair of earrings, perhaps? A cheese knife?
Ooh. Let's do this. So, what's your story exactly?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I'm originally from Orzammar, just as you are, I suspect. You don't have the look of a surface dwarf about you. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Why did you leave?
One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
What happened then?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers, they're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure, something worth a little gold.
Isn't that stealing? I'm not sure if it is the same or not. I'll just say I see.
The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft stripped of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
And now you are here.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
But where did these goods come from? Not deep roads.
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We don't take things from people that need them. The things in the Lost Tigers, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember. It's not all that different up here. There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere. Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
What do you mean?
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes, my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them. Is that so bad? They destroy everything they touch.
I suppose it's better than having the Darkspawn take it all.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed. Dark times, my friend.
You didn't mention your son in your tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here, I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. He may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
That was generous of you.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
Let's just see your wares
I'm sure
for
you'll
now.
be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Yes. Okay, let's see. I think I'll get this for now. There we go. All the health poultices. And then I'll also have to look Blood Dragon boots. There we go. And now I can equip that for myself. Here we go. And then perhaps I will give Liliana my old boots. Here we go. And then I also want to quickly go over some of the codexes that I have here. So last time we left off with magic and religion. I think I'll continue with culture and history now then. So we have the history of the Dryadens. In the years following the siege of Soldier's Peak, all those who carried the Dryden name were hunted by King Ireland's forces. Our noble Dryden was smeared, and all lands and holdings belonging to the Drydens were seized by the crown. The king feared that the rebellion started by Sophia would be kept alive by her loyal friends and family, and anyone with connections to the Dryden suffered greatly. It is little wonder, then, that the few remaining Drydens found themselves with no allies and nowhere to turn. Oh wait, is this about Levi's things? Tobin Dryden, Sophia's brother and guardian of her young son, had no choice but to flee for Eldon. Tobin brought passage to Antiva on a merchant vessel and traveled under the name the Rocker. Once in Antiva, Tobin set about building a new, quiet life for himself and his nephew. He started a small business and eventually made a name for himself as a trader. The Duragar family prospered, and the name Dryden was almost forgotten. However, in 815, Blessed Sylvie de Rocker uncovered old documents belonging to Tobin and pieced together the family's history. In her pride and perhaps in her naivety, Sylvie reclaimed the name Dryden and returned to Ferelden. King Aland lies dead, and the Dryden name lives in Am. Our family has survived, even thrived, since the death of Sophia Dryden. The nobles of Ferelden made spit on the Dryden name, but the Drydens know that Sophia Dryden was greater than them, almost a queen and a hero of the people of Ferelden. From a personal file of Levi Dryden, the merchant. Yeah, I believe this is the quest that we have to do, because Duncan kept a promise with him. And then we have the Vedas calendar. For most good folks, the details of our calendar have little purpose. It is useful only for telling them when the summer day festival will be held, when the snows are expected to begin, and when the harvest must be complete. The naming of the years are a matter of historians and taxmen, and few, if pressed, could even tell you the reason that our current age is named after dragons. It is 930 Dragon Age, the 30th year of the 9th age, since the crowning of the Chantry's first divine. Each age is exactly 100 years. With the next age name is chosen in the 99th year, the scholars in Valrayo advise the Chantry of portents seen in that 99th year. And Chantry authorities pore over the research for months before the divine announces the name of the imminent age. The name is said to be an omen of what is to come, of what the people of Vedas will face for the next 100 years. The current age was not meant to be the Dragon Age. Throughout the last months of the Blessed Age, the Chantry was preparing to declare the Sun Age, named for the symbol of the Orlesian Empire, which at the time sprawled over much of the south of Vedas and controlled both Ferelden and what is now Navarra. It was to be a celebration of the Orlesian imperial glory. But as the rebellion in Ferelden reached a head and the Battle of River Dane was about to begin, a peculiar event occurred, a rampage, the rising of a dreaded high dragon. Dragons had been thought particularly extinct since the days of the Navarran dragon hunts, and they say that to see this great beast rise from the frostbacks was both majestic and terrifying. As the rampage began and the high dragon decimated the countryside, in its search for food, the elderly divine Faustine II abruptly declared the Dragon Age. Some say the divine was declaring support for the Orlais in battle against Ferelden, since the dragon is an element of the Duvael family heraldry of King Murdrin, the so-called usurper king of Ferelden. But that is as it may, the high dragon rampage turned towards the Orlesian side of the Frostback Mountains, killing hundreds and sending thousands more fleeing to the northern coast. The Ferelden rebels won the Battle of River Dane, ultimately securing their independence. Many thus think that the dragon will come to represent a time of violent and dramatic change for all of Vedas. It remains to be seen. From the studious Theologian by Brother Genetivi, Chantry Scholar 925 Dragon. Ooh, so that's interesting. So they named this year after this century after the dragon because they finally saw a dragon again after what they thought they would have been extinct. And then we have the Chastened. The Chastened dwellers have lived in the Kakari Wild since the first wars with the Alamari drove them southward a millennium ago. According to their own lore, they had always been a forest-dwelling people that adapted quickly to their new home. Game and fish are plentiful in the wetlands, and the chastened thrived. For a time, they and the hill-dwelling Afars were true threats to the northern lowlands. The Definter Imperium had arrived and was hard-pressed to keep back the waves of the invasion from the south and the west. The fortress of Ostagar was built specifically to watch for chastened hordes venturing north of the tree line. It was not until the legendary warrior Hafthor soundly defeated the chastened in the first half of the Divine Age that the question of their ability to contest the lowlands was settled permanently. Today, the Chastens are considered largely peaceful, though their ways are still primitive compared to our own. In the Kakari Wilds, they live in strange-looking huts built on stilts or even built into great tree tops. They paint their face and are split into small tribes ruled by the shamans like those amongst the Avars. There are many tales of those shamans have learned their magic from the witches of the wilds, witches that inspire as much terror as they do awe and gratitude, even if there is no definite proof they exist. In particular, the tale of Flemeth, the greatest witch of the wild, is celebrated among all tribes. While there is no way to know how many there are in the Kakari Wilds today, few travelers that pass through the forest tell of Chastened eking out an existence even in the frozen wastelands of the far south. One can assume that should the Chastened even organize themselves once more, we might have reason to fear them here in Ferelden. We ignore them at our peril. From Ferelden Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. Then we also have the History of Ferelden, Chapter 1. And Ferelden, as we think of it now, did not exist before the Exalted Age. Instead, the valley was divided up into dozens of old Alamari clans. They warred constantly with one another over land, honor, and the allegiance of the freeholders, and on one notable occasion, the name given to a favored Mabari. And then, in the 35th year of the Exalted Age, Calenhead Tyran became Terran of Denerim, and everything changed. Most of what we know about the founding of our nation comes from old songs that the bards passed down through the ages. The songs are filled with wild exaggerations and outright lies, but this hardly differs from the scholarly papers of some of my contemporaries. There's no agreement among poets or scholars or how he did it, but Calenhead gained the support of the Circle of Magi, and they crafted for him a suit of silvery white armor that by all accounts repelled both arrow and blade. Calenhead led his army across the valley and captured Redcliffe, one of the only 3 men who ever successfully laid siege to that fortress, and pretended himself to the bands of the Landsmeet as their king. The poet tells us that every lord knelt before Calenhead without question. The fact that he attended the Landsmeet surrounded by ash warriors and loyal mages of the Circle is generally omitted from ballads, however. From Calenhead came the line of Farron kings and queens who reigned uninterrupted until the 45th year of the Blessed Age, when the Orlesian invasion came. The rightful king was forced to flee Denerim, and for 70 years a puppet was set upon the throne. From Ferelden Folklore and History by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. I'm curious if King Merrick is descendant then of King Calenhead. Then we also have Geography of Ferelden. The Kingdom of Ferelden is the sovereign, most civilized nation in Thedas. Although some scholars dispute that claim to civilization, it is perhaps the most physically isolated of all the kingdoms of Thedas. To the east is the Amaranthian Ocean, to the north the Walking Sea, and to the south the Kakari Wilds, which in the summer month are vast peat bogs, and in the winter become a treacherous labyrinth of iced over waterways. The Frostback Mountains guard the western border, and only a narrow plain between the mountains and the sea allows travel between Ferelden and Norlay. Most of the land in the central portion of Kingdom, called the Bannern, is open plains. These are crossed by the remnants of ancient Winter Highway that once connected Valreol with Ostagar on the edge of the Kakari Wilds. The western part of Ferelden is dominated by Lake Calenhad, a huge cauldron filled by the runoff of glaciers from nearby mountains. Lake Calenhad is home to the famed fortress of Redcliffe, as well as the Circle Tower, which houses Ferelden's Circle of Magi. In the east is the vast Brazilian forest, which the superstitious locals profess to be haunted, and from which rises the Dragon's Peak, a solitary mountain that guards the capital of Denerim. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. Then we also have Lake Calenhad. The waters of Lake Calenhad are steeped in legends. The Afar people say that it was once site of Belaness, the mountain which stood at the center of the world, from which Corv, the mountain father, surveyed the earth and sky, but it was destroyed in the battle between Corv and the serpent Naframar, leaving only a vast crater behind. When the Lady of the Skies saw that Belaness was gone, she wept and her tears filled the crater, making the lake. The Definters believed that the water of the Lake Calenhad was blessed by Resakel, god of mysteries, and that those who drank from them were granted special insights. This was why they built the great tower on an island in the middle of the lake, hoping the power of the lake would aid their magical research. But most of us know that the legend of King Calenhad, which gives the place its name. It is said that Calenhad Fyrin spent a year and a day in the Tower of Magi. Each day he drew a single cup full of water from the lake and carried it to the formery at the top of the tower. By magic, each cup of water was forged into a single ring of the mail armor the circle gave to Calenhad. In that armor made from the lifeblood of the land itself, no blade could strike him, no arrow pierce him, so long as he stood on Ferelden soil. From Vedas, Myths, and Legends by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. So his armor is has magic on it, so nothing can strike it. And then we have Lovering. In ancient times, Lovering was little more than a trading post that served the fortress of Ostagard to the south. Nowadays, it is larger, serving the Redcliffe and the community of merchants and surface dwarves near Orzammar. Its location of the North Road gives its strategic value, so control of Lovering has historically been a matter of contention between the Sovereign Banner and the South Reach Arling. King Calenhad himself stepped in and awarded the town to South Reach in the Exalted Age, which has largely ended the feud, or at least the appearance of it. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. And then we also have the Orlesian Empire. There are many lords and ladies in Varayo, and I mean this literally. Once the system of noble titles in Orlais was a labyrinthine. There were barons and baroness and baronets and sir barons and a horde of others, each with its own origin and its own nuances of comparison. The Orlesian aristocracy is ancient and much given to the competition. All the nobility play the grand game, as it is known whether they wish to or not. It is a game of repetition and patronage, where moves are made with rumors and scandal is the chief weapon. No gentle game, this. More blood has been drawn as a result of the grand game than any war the Orlesians have fought of this. Of this I am assured by almost every gentleman here. As far as titles went, everything changed with the coming of the Emperor Dragon, who established the Orlesian Empire as it exists now, and who created the Chantry. There's no more venerated figure in Orlais. In Varayo, the statue of Drakon stands as tall as the statue of Andraste. Drakon determined that the grand game was tearing Orlais apart, so he abolished all titles besides his own and Lord and Lady. I am told with some twittering amusement that this action did not end the grand game as Drakon had intended. Now the lords and ladies collected unofficial titles rather than official ones, such as the exalted patron of Texas Clay, or uncle to the champion of Tremus. It is a headache to remember such titles, and one winces to think of the poor doorman at the balls who must rattle them off as each guest enters the door. The aristocracy is different from Ferelden in other ways, as well as the Orlesian right to rule stems directly from the Maker. There exists neither the concept of rule by merit nor the slightest notion of rebellion. If one is not noble, one aspires to be, or at least aspires to be in the good graces of a noble, and is ever watching for a way to enter the patronage of those better placed in the ground game. And then there are masks and the cosmetics. I have not seen so much paint since the kennels at High Ever, but this is another story. From Beyond the Frostbacks by Bann Teagan of West Hill 920 Dragon. And then we have Redcliffe. King Calenhad Farron once famously declared, "The fate of Redcliffe is the fate of Ferelden. Certainly the castle is the first and last defense for the Soul Land route into Ferelden, and the country has never fallen into any force that did not first capture Redcliffe. The castle, which despite being 3 times captured, is popularly described as unassailable, also guards one of the largest and most prosperous towns in Ferelden. Redcliffe village is well situated near the mountains pass to Orzammar and the Orlesian border, and so serve as a center of foreign trade. For these reasons, Redcliffe is accounted an island despite the smallness of the domain. The inhabitants of Redcliffe village are primarily fishermen or merchants who ship dwarven goods through the pass from Orlais to Denerim. When the entire village smells of smoked fish on certain late autumn mornings, the merchants in their finery do their utmost to pretend otherwise. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. And then we also have the Tevinter Imperium. The Imperium is little more than a dilapidated old slattern crouching in the far north of Thedas, drunkenly cursing at passerbys to recall her faded beauty. One can say that Minrafus was once the center of the world, the vestiges of her power and artistry yet stand. But they are buried in the layers of filth that the Imperium decadence has accumulated over the ages. The magocracy live in elegant stone towers, literally elevated above the stench of the slaves and peasants below. The outskirts of Minrafus are awash in the seas of refugees, turned destitute by the never-ending war between the Imperium and the Qunari. And yet the Imperium survives, whether with sword or magic. Tevinter remains a force to be reckoned with. Minrafus has been besieged by men, by Qunari, by Andraste herself, and yet never fallen. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. I think I'll leave this episode here for now. And then in the next episode, we can talk more about the characters, but we can also, after that, go to Denerim and take care of Alistair's family to find Goldana, and to go to Brother Genetivi's house and find the Urn of Sacred Ashes. So see you guys then. Bye!